no secret I love time theory. It's great. So, I was watching Big Bang Theory, and they brought up time travel paradox. And it's something I haven't analyzed yet. And that is how to give something to yourself in the past. So, true travel theory. Basically, they were talking about Biff. I haven't watched whatever that movie is with the DeLorean where they travel back in time. Back to the Future. There you go. I haven't watched those in a long time, so I'm going off of Big Bang Theory here. But the argument is fun and enthralling to me. So, if you're going to give yourself something in the past, though traveling back in time either isolates you from the event or erases your knowledge of traveling back in time, right? So how do you give yourself something in the past? In the movie, it's investment schemes, I think. A way to get wealthy. No real time traveler is going to try to get rich. I mean, it's ridiculous. You wouldn't waste that much energy because you're just going to destroy reality. So it has to be something worth potentially destroying reality for, because you don't have a biometric stabilized system of energy yet. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here it is. You get your book. I'm just using a book. So you have a book. And you isolate from the event that erases you back to a prior moment. That is reality, but reality is traveling backwards and still traveling linearly. And so you put that book somewhere. Like now, you travel back into the future with all that entropy and all that future. And entropy averages out all of quantum and, probability and interference. So, events are going to sort of play out the same, but they're not. There's going to be little subtleties that change. But the book, when you travel back into the future, which is basically traveling into the book's past, right? You're not there to hold the book. And so the book, the matter of the book, the matter, the material, the particles, the molecules, they're all going to be left there. And now you erase that book from its past, which is now its future. If that makes any sense. And so, where you go, I love this shit. It tangles your brain. It's a lot of fun. So then you go back to the future. Now you need to replace yourself, except all that you've lived never happened. Because what you remember is what you isolated yourself from reality. Though when you went back and then traveled back to the present, your present, you are gone. And so all those things without you to impact and impart yourself are gone. So then you need to sort of replace yourself and make all that happen again so that you can get back to your reality. Now you travel back again, and the book is still sitting there because it never existed, right? Unless you copied it, I suppose. And you could multiply that and give it to a whole bunch of people and keep the same scenario going. But the book never really existed if it's the original. And so people, you're traveling back again to where you were initially so that you can reset all the quantum probability and entropy and are going to live a life again. But are you going to remember it? Because now you're not isolating it. Unless you isolate your brain so that you can remember all this nonsense. Are you going to isolate your brain? I don't know. But if you could isolate your brain, then you can remember it all. Otherwise, it's going to basically replace all the entropy and quantum probability from that distance in time to where you were, but your brain is going to be that length of time backwards, that distance to whatever so you would remember like things from when you started all the way up there. It'd be fragmenting your brain and turning it into a chaotic mush of deja vu, essentially. And but if you left that book somewhere, what would it teach you? But when it taught you something, you'd have it and you could understand. And so those initial memories that you had from that length of time that are constantly scaling forward while everything's resetting, consistently moving forward, is really fun. I mean, if you can understand it, I'm sure the average person would think I'm insane, but to me, it's good fun. And so, you had all these little weird layers of, I don't even know what kind of a graph it would be moving forward, but I suppose you could design some sort of line graph. Yeah. And then they would all intermingle through certain areas. But aside from that, that would be how in true time theory that you could travel back and give yourself something. But it's never for personal gain. You got to remember, if you're going to do that, because you're traveling back to leave something, to travel forward, to travel back again, and that's 3 times the energy. That's not even 4 times, right? Because regular time theory means that you are stopping energy and then reversing it. So that's times 2, times 3, times 4, and 5. It's 5 times the energy. You're gonna eat reality at 5 times its normal, natural, linear entropic displacement of inertia and time frames, and we just call it time.